Hey everybody, it's Mackie, and we're back with another episode of the Hidden Threads podcast. We got Samantha back with us.
Hi.
She still got her Mississippi State sweater on.
I still do.
Go Dogs. Is it Hell State or Go Dogs?
Hell State.
You can't say Go.
I think you can.
Go Dogs is Georgia, more of Georgia, right? Y'all don't like Georgia, do you?
Yikes, no.
Nobody does.
Mm-mm.
All right. Unless you're from Georgia, I guess.
I guess.
All right. So today we got a good one, an interesting one. The question, it's a statement, then a question. We got several questions. We talk about finding reasonable doubt. That's why we work for the defense, right? We're trying to help them find reasonable doubt so they can present it to a jury and help their client. First question is why do we work for the defense? Do you got anything to add to that? Did I shock you?
Yeah, I mean, that's just such a loaded question. Yeah. I think we've talked about this in a prior podcast too, is that, I mean, everybody deserves a fair trial. Everybody deserves a defense. Right. That's just how our system works. And it doesn't matter how guilty we may think that they are to begin with. That's vigilante justice. We're not about that. That's not how our system works.
Yeah.
That frustrates people sometimes.
Yeah, that's right. You know, whenever you get arrested, the city or state or whatever jurisdiction, they have multiple investigators, a big bucket of taxpayer dollars.
Yes.
All right. And you, on the defense side, do not. You got to spend your own money or get what they provide to you. All right. Mm-hmm. And I just think it's fair that they have at least one investigator to get out and dig up evidence and question people for your attorney. Now, if you can afford us, yeah, you'll pay us directly, but sometimes we get paid by the Indigent Defense Office, right? Which ain't much. You ever worked for the Indigent Defense? You ever worked in an indigent case?
I have not.
Right.
No.
They're interesting because the state of Alabama, they like to pay they'll pay you within 6 months.
Yeah,
but you don't get paid fast, and you don't get paid as much as you would charge if it was just a private.
Well, that's how the attorneys are getting paid too.
Yeah, they don't get paid much either. So so they got the power of the state behind it, and it's just little old you, and you got to do your best, right? With a public, I've called them public pretenders before.
Yeah, I mean,
public defender.
That's
or
fair.
If you got the money, you can pay a defense attorney, which is going to cost you $85,000 and up, right?
If you have the money for that.
If you have the money, you got to refinance houses and those kind of things, and you can pay us as well. But we analyze digital data, locate witnesses, recreate events for attorneys. I'm not certified in crime scene recreation, but what I have done before is gone out and I guess it was a recreation and shown where it can show the attorney here's how this went down kind of thing. You know what I mean? So they can get a visual of it. I've even gone out to crime scenes with attorneys, with the defense attorneys, all right, and worked them through how we think this went down. So
I wasn't able to make that one, but did you not ask me one time to lay at the bottom of a mountain?
No, we're going to, we're going to use you as a, see if you could pick up a dummy and throw it over a cliff.
Oh, I thought I was going to be the dummy that laid at the bottom of a mountain.
No, we got Victoria to help us with that one.
Okay.
But she helped us, and it was a pretty interesting thing, picking up a 150-pound dummy,
right?
Taking it over a wall, and then tossing it off. Very difficult for a woman to do it by herself.
Right.
Right.
What a work day.
Now, 2 men did it easily. So it's just that's another. We've had a podcast about that one. But so here's a question you had an answer for. We talked before we started. Why do the police and district attorneys rush to arrest people?
Public pressure.
Public pressure.
Yeah, I think almost always it's pressure.
Mm-hmm.
People want the bad guy. People want to feel safe in their towns. These people are elected by the people. Mm-hmm. And so they feel tremendous pressure that we have to make sure our community feels safe. We have to make sure that we look competent, that we're doing our job. And even if they may not be 100% sure or have the evidence, I think a lot of times they're pushed into charging people before they're ready.
Right. Yeah, I've told people before, these DAs and sheriffs, they are politicians. Mm-hmm. They're trying to get reelected, and they'll put stats up when they're getting reelected.
Right.
74 murderers convicted or whatever, they'll throw a number up, but they never throw the number up which were wrongfully convicted or got overturned. Right.
Exactly. That makes me think of, what's his name? Harry Connick Jr., his dad.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the famous prosecutor in Louisiana.
Oh,
yeah.
He got in trouble, right?
Oh, but a lot. I mean, his record was insane. It was great, but there were so many wrongful convictions. But it's not how you want to go down in history, right?
Right. I don't think he did. He didn't go to jail. They just had to go back and review everything,
think so,
right?
yeah.
So, they found out he was on the take on some of them, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Right.
Crazy. Right. So we had this case. I talked about it on TikTok, but it's Raul Val. That's the kid up in Connecticut that it was a big fight, a bunch of kids fighting. He was 16 and he was being stomped. Him and his buddy were being stomped, and he came up with a knife cutting and cut 3 of them, killed one of them, stabbed one of them in the in the heart, chest area, killed him. A very unfortunate event, but they charged him with 2nd-degree murder. All right. And which is a big charge, right? He could have had a life sentence involved, but he got not guilty on the big one. Now they got the small one they were hung on, which was the reckless manslaughter. That's very similar to you being a reckless driver and killing somebody. Probably not going to do a lot of jail time. Probably can recover from that, right? But I think he was overcharged there. You got kids in a fight. If you saw the videos, there's a brawl going on, man. It's very chaotic. How can you say this kid, he's the only one culpable here? Yeah, he had a knife, but there was a lot of kids out there fighting in that. They could have been culpable. What do you think about that? He was overcharged, right?
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with Connecticut and the way that they do things, but I know that it is different than how we do things in Alabama. I feel like if it were in a more conservative state, then it would be self-defense or that he would probably not be charged at all. So I don't know what I understand that this wasn't in a home, correct?
No, it was in a yard.
In a yard.
So, yeah.
And some states have the duty to retreat.
Yep.
The castle doctrine. So I don't know what theirs was. I don't agree with the duty to retreat.
Yeah, they don't have they don't have stand your ground there. So
yeah, so
up there you have to try to retreat first,
right,
and then you can defend yourself.
Yeah.
Where in Alabama, Georgia, Florida, you don't have to retreat. You can defend yourself.
Yeah.
Immediately, right?
Exactly.
With a weapon, you don't have to do anything.
So. And I wonder if that is why he was charged the way he was, is because he did not retreat.
So the problem too there, they had a fight at one house, and then the kids left, and then Raul and his buddy chased them down kind of and started another one. All right, so that doesn't look good, but
right, yeah.
But they were getting stomped pretty good though in the second go around. And
yeah, what do you do?
Right.
In that situation.
You're going to try to fight your way out of it, right?
Right.
You don't just going to lay there and be stomped.
That makes me think of in the public school system, the zero tolerance fighting policy, that if like somebody hits you, you're not allowed to hit back or you get suspended as well.
Right.
So
I don't agree with that.
I don't either. That's what I have a 16-year-old. If they hit you, then...
Back when I was a kid, the whole school would have been suspended. We fought all the time.
Right. You hit back, and if you get suspended, then we'll take a little vacation.
I've told people this before. We didn't have big bully problems. You kind of took care of it. The student body did. But
let kids figure things out.
Right. Now nowadays they want to shoot each other, instead of duking it out, and that's a problem. So we got some more about this. Have you ever seen flawed evidence because they rush to arrest somebody?
Oh, for sure. And I'm not going to be popular for this, but you already know like my feelings on the Brian Koberger thing.
Right.
And I know that
he's on TV right now.
Yeah, he is. We've been kind of like looking over there. Right. They're doing the victim impact statements today. But no, I'm not a Brian Koberger defender or think that he's innocent. I mean, clearly he's not. He's admitted to all of this. But I do think that they rushed to indict him on these charges because of the public pressure, especially it being a university and being kids. And a lot of the evidence that I feel like is misrepresented to the public. For instance, they were saying, his cell phone pinged in the tower by the house. Well, the tower by the house, it served a 25-mile radius.
And he was a PhD student there, right?
Yeah. So anybody within a 25-mile radius would ping off that tower. That doesn't mean you have to be in the home. And so there were a lot of things that were put out there that, they sounded good, on paper, but maybe were misrepresented And I think that's essentially why they did what they did with the plea deal, is because maybe the case wasn't as strong as they
had some DNA
to
evidence too, but you're saying it could have been flawed.
Yeah, well, no, I think it was trace DNA, which, trace DNA is whenever, you can touch, like you go to the library, you touch a book, somebody else checks out that book, takes it to the house, and then your DNA is in that home. Even though you were never there, you may not even know the person.
Right.
And there were several other people's DNA on the knife sheath as well. But I don't think that they were willing to come out and say, hey, our evidence isn't that strong. Because again, like they're public, they're elected.
So I wonder why he took the deal then. Why wouldn't he go to court?
I don't know. That's the question. Part of me feels like he enjoys this.
Yeah. He enjoys the spotlight.
Yeah.
He's on TV right now. Mm-hmm. That's what everybody's watching right now.
Yeah. I think that
we got it on here. So
he'll definitely when he obsessed with like Ted Bundy, and Ted Bundy gave the whole like tell-all in prison of how he did it.
Yeah, there's a bunch of books written about it. Yeah.
I expect that to come out with him.
Right. All right. So you think they might have rushed a little bit there because of pressure?
Yeah, right. I think that they could have rushed the pressure. I think that there's a lot of cases that that they rush because of public pressure. I think another one was Casey Anthony. Again, not a very popular person.
You're not defending her, right?
No, not defending Casey Anthony. But I remember watching that trial, and I was like, there's no way she's going to be found guilty of this, because I think that they rushed it because it was such a hot topic. It was
a kid,
it was a child. Yeah. And she had this big eyes, beautiful child. It was easy to be sympathetic towards this case. And I think in cases like that, they have so much pressure to rush that they can kind of mess up a case. So, suggestion, if you have a loved one that's a victim of a crime, if you're ever in that situation, let law enforcement, take their time.
Right.
Yeah. Because, and I understand the anxiety with people who are like, we want this done today. We want justice now. But it's the wheels of justice turn slow.
Yeah. Yeah. If you have, so you're saying if you have a family member or a friend that is killed, right, or victim of a crime, right? Don't keep calling them every 5 minutes.
Right.
Let's have a meeting every 90 days or something, but let the detectives do their thing in the DA instead of rushing and putting pressure on them. The news media does too, and social media does it, puts pressure on them as well.
Oh yeah. And I think, we're seeing in real time how our criminal justice system is changing based on social media and our access. Even like, the televised trials, how they're becoming so sensationalized, and it's entertainment now. Whereas, 50 years ago, this wasn't the case. So it's affecting now. How do you get a jury pool? Like how do you pick 12 people who aren't affected by this? So we're seeing more trials being, venues being changed and as a result. And I'm curious to see where this is going to go in the future.
So, yeah, I mean, it's hard to get a jury because everybody's on Facebook, everybody's on Twitter, TikTok, you name it, and they're watching this stuff. Right. And when they ask you, hey, do you know anything about this case? You're going to be like, yep, I saw it on Facebook,
Exactly.
And then now I've seen them, if you read the voir dire.
Yeah, I always have trouble with that word. I'm not sure.
The jury selection.
Yeah.
I'll just say that. They'll come to an agreement. Hey, all of you are seeing it on Facebook, so we're just going to accept you all, right? Kind of thing. I've seen that before. Because they don't have anybody else to choose from.
Right.
They got 100 people in there, and they've all heard of the case. What are you going to do about it? You've got to continue, right? All right, last topic here under this one. Have you ever seen it where we've seen this several times where the opposing side, especially the prosecution, will withhold exculpatory evidence? You ever seen that? And that's a constitutional constitutional violation. And I don't know why they do that. I mean, I think they might have rushed and they're saying, well, we're not going to let the other side see it, but it comes out eventually, right? It may come out within 6 months or 40 years, it comes out and people are let off the hook because of these violations. Have you ever seen that before?
Not personally. I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
I think it happens more often than we think. I feel like that you and I have probably both been. Have you?
Yeah.
Been involved
We
in?
got one going where we kind of finished it, but yeah, so we got one going on. It's in South Alabama where there is evidence out there. This guy's this is crazy. This guy,
Shocker.
he got in trouble.
Can you say what county?
It's Mobile, actually. Oh. So he got in trouble, and him and another guy got convicted of murder, right? It was a fight where they drug these dudes out and beat the snot out of them, and two of them died, right? They're saying our client and the other guy was guilty of it. Now, the other guy got exonerated from it because of exculpatory evidence. Why isn't our guy being exonerated because of exculpatory evidence? But the opposing side, they held evidence, they held interviews and didn't present it, saying, yeah, these guys weren't there. They had left before this happened, and they named people. Like, these are the guys that did it. And the prosecution didn't tell anybody.
Yeah. Well, again, it's political. It's their job to get a conviction.
Right. The problem, too, is this gets found out 20 years later. And those people, those detectives, DA, they're not there anymore. They're not held accountable, right?
Right.
It's the new DA or the new police chief or whatever. They're like, yeah, we found this out. Sorry, dudes. You've been in jail for 20 years. You know what I mean? Here's $1 million. They really don't do much. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, that's exculpatory evidence, and it happens a lot. So,
have you seen what is it? The staircase, the Michael Peterson
thing?
Mm-hmm. That reminds me of what is it? Deaver, Special Agent Deaver, that withheld things, and then whenever he came back and had his second trial, I think he entered a offered plea on that one. So
Kelly Dever,
was that his name?
That was a woman.
No, it's Deaver. It's a man that with the prosecution, he was I want to say an investigator for the prosecution, but he was there were some Brady violations going on in that case, and that's how the Michael Peterson got his second
I can't
trial.
remember. I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, but there was some real sketchy stuff going on, and that. So I know it happens, and I think that it happens more often than we think, and I think it can become personal for the prosecution too. Like, we know that this person did it. We know that they did, and we just want to prove that. And if this doesn't, fit that narrative, then we're just going to leave it out because it could confuse people. You can't do that.
So Karen Reed, the defense attorneys, brought it out. They brought it up and called those people withholding evidence and made them witnesses.
Oh yeah.
And the prosecutor had to admit to the jury, yeah, we did this. I don't know if you remember that part.
Exactly.
Doesn't look good. All right. So
no,
you're trying to frame somebody. That's what it looks like.
I think that there could be, because there's so much immunity with the prosecution that maybe having some sort of accountability for that could be helpful.
Yeah, because jurisdictions do have immunity. Cities, states, counties, they have immunity. So you can whine and cry all you want. You can't sue them, right? Unless it's extenuating circumstances where you were physically assaulted or racism, big time Constitution stuff,
And they don't have to, press charges if they don't want to.
Right.
They don't have to file these charges. They don't have to go after it. So, I mean, technically somebody could shoot somebody in the yard right now. And if the prosecutor doesn't want to do it, even though they know a crime has been committed, they technically don't have to.
They don't have to chase it down.
They don't have to. And that's so wild to me that they have that much
Who
power.
they pick and choose to go after. So, right. All right. Anything else on this one?
I think that's it.
Okay. All right. We'll be back. Thank you, Samantha.
Thank you.
You're so insightful.
Thank you. As are you.
We'll be back. I'm not. I'm just a redneck. We'll be back soon with another episode. All right. Talk to you later.